Hello, my name is Paul Manti, and I'm a Strategic Business Development Manager here at NetApp. So we've shown you how to deliver the golden pitch with slides. But one of the most effective ways to deliver this, and in fact when I was in Amsterdam and Brussels a couple of weeks ago, this was the only way I delivered this, is to really develop and deliver the delivering business impact message as a whiteboard. And it actually very, very simply lends itself to a whiteboard format. But most importantly, it enables you to draw your customer into the conversation and really lead a consultative sales engagement with them. So now I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to present the whiteboard just as if you were a customer. So, a lot of people today are talking about having an impact. And I think this is a very interesting word, and I think it's even more interesting than efficiency, because if you think about wanting to create a difference and have an impact on the world, this word impact is much more powerful, right? As a husband, I think I'd rather be referred to or remembered as an impactful husband, or a impactful father, or an impactful community leader, or an impactful employee of NetApp, and make a difference, versus being known as an efficient or a flexible, whatever I just said, parent, employee, husband, etc. And the cool thing about impact really is it's an equation where it's value over time. And in fact, time is such an important factor, we'll go ahead and square it there. And as I was talking to Jeff McKenna, who's like the original Scrum coach in Agile, he said the cool thing about this is that there's actually several ways to improve impact. One is to increase the amount of value, but that's kind of hard to do. The second one is to decrease the amount of time that it takes to deliver something, the same amount of value. And if you can do that, you're really driving impact. And of course, the third way is to do both of those. And it's this idea, this agile idea, that we're seeing starting to take hold, because it reflects something that I think is really unique about people, is that the way we learn as human beings is we take insight about something and we turn it into action. And the more frequently we do this and combine this process, the more we improve at doing something. So if you're learning to ride a bicycle or drive a car or swing a golf club and play golf, it's this insight, where did the golf ball go? And this action, what were the swing that created this? And it's repeating that over and over again. And you get coaching and you get feedback from, say, a golf pro or from your friends or from your score, and you continually learn how to improve what you're doing. Now, Agile makes use of this in terms of software development. So software development teams are set up to do this continuous incremental iteration, as you've seen. But the really interesting thing that we're starting to see happen in the marketplace is what happens when business start to think of their function in this way. So you have the marketplace over here. And let's take, for an example, Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters and Westlaw Next, their marketplace was law firms, major law firms across the globe. And if you look at lawyers, they had goals and objectives in terms of being able to find information, case precedences, and search case precedences to establish a precedence. And they had pain points, and they had potential gain points as well. Pain and gain. So in a pain point in particular that Westlaw Next saw was that in order to form this query about what kind of precedents you were looking for, you had to pretty much be a database engineer, which most lawyers are not. And so they realized if they could make it more Google-like, that was a big opportunity. So they saw an insight, and they used that insight back over here. And on this side we have, say, Thomson Reuters, Westlaw Next, and they have solutions and products, and they have a value proposition by which they deliver that into the marketplace. So they were able to take this opportunity, this insight, analyze this insight, and say if we were to come out with a product that offered Google-like search services and then deliver it quickly back out into the marketplace, we could win. And NetApp helped them do this because at the heart of all of this, and I think this is really key, the heart of all of this, it's about the data. I have to take that insight and turn it into a decidable opportunity. I have to make a decision off of it, and then I have to quickly take action. And I love what Rick King says in the video. He said, with our NetApp-based private cloud infrastructure, we can rapidly prototype new search algorithms, new features, new functions, and bring them to market fast. And we were talking about this with Salesforce.com a couple of months ago. And Klaus Molt, who's the Senior Vice President of Service Delivery, he turned and he said, because this is the wave of the future. This is how businesses will compete and win over the next decade. And then he went on to say, he says, I am really excited to see that NetApp is thinking this way. So what role, really, let's take a look at what role NetApp plays here. So if you go and you look back at the record at the Agile Executive Forum that occurred back in August in Dallas, every last executive got up there and said, if all we do is bring these agile methods and thought processes to the development organization, we've really only optimized less than 20% of the total business. We have to bring this concept to sales, we have to bring it to marketing, and we have to bring it to IT, which is really the delivery organization. And when we're able to do that, that's when we're going to see some tremendous opportunity occur in the company. And I would like to suggest that NetApp actually has a unique opportunity because we can help connect all of these dots. Because when you improve development, if you can improve the productivity of the development organization and get to market faster, sales will grow. And then you have the opportunity with delivery, when sales is growing, you have to achieve operational excellence to capitalize on that growth opportunity. But when you do so as IT, it gives you an opportunity to then provide value-added services back to the rest of these organizations within the business. And then finally, and when you do that, that's about how do I deliver sustained profitability? How am I profitable over the long term? And then finally, if I do that and if I can provide marketing with better information for them to make decisions, they can help target development better, and this whole virtuous cycle goes around again, and you really become a driver of innovation. So let's take a look then at some examples, some real-world customer examples where they leveraged NetApp and our technologies and our capabilities and our value proposition to achieve just this. So for starters, development. I think we're all familiar with 7 corners. If not, we should be. George Reed stood up at VMworld and he said, with our NetApp-based FlexPod, we were able to accelerate the time that it took us to onboard an insurance carrier down from 2 years to 2 months. And as a direct result, in the first calendar 8 months of 2012, we onboarded 4 new insurance carriers. And he said the last 3 months were record revenue-breaking months for the company as a result. And we know that first mover to market advantage is so decisive in our business that we'll win 65 to 70% market share if we get there first. So, development, more productive, faster time to market, results in increased sales. I then had the opportunity to talk to Clayton Companies. Clayton Companies is a vertically integrated cement manufacturer out of New Jersey. And Scott Milne, their CIO, was telling me, because I got the great opportunity to ask him, I said, what's the coolest thing you've ever done with NetApp? And he said, well, with NetApp, we were able to roll out a new ERP solution. We did it 4 months under schedule, and we did it $600,000 under budget. I said, how'd you do that? He goes, we were literally developing in the morning, testing at lunchtime, and rolling into production in the afternoon. So I kind of asked the Columbo question. I said, well, isn't that kind of risky? He says, oh, you don't understand your own value proposition. With NetApp, I can just roll back to a previous instance, and all's good. I don't have to worry about that. Now, as an aside, I was having this same conversation with Mike Valente, who's the VP of Cloud for IBM, and he's like, hold the phone. You guys can do that? And he was quite amazed by that. And what I realized was, as we were talking in his language about delivering out services, valuable services back to the business. So back to Scott Milne at Clayton Companies, and I loved this ability. I said, well, that's cool, but what else have you guys done that's cool? And he says, oh, well, we're also spinning out flex clones of the production database environment, and we're using those for business analytics. And I couldn't help myself. I said, what are your analysts doing? And he says, well, you don't understand the cement business. Cement has a 45-minute shelf life, 45-minute lifespan. It makes bananas look like Twinkies from a supply chain perspective. And he says, our top 2 drivers of profitability for the company are the price of gasoline and traffic flow patterns in the state. So we're constantly looking at our production database and correlating that information with weather.com information and with information, GPS information off the trucks to figure out how to optimize our distribution network so the deals that don't start for 2, 3, 4 years from now, we can guarantee our maximum profitability. That optimization is critical to our business. So now if delivery can provide value-added services back to marketing, marketing can now provide better targeting back to development. So I was speaking with Aaron Hinkle out at Sprint, and he was saying to me, because we are fundamentally transforming the calculus of portfolio management here at Sprint. And I had to stop and ask him, I said, well, what does that mean exactly? And he says, well, in the old world, it was $1 million of CapEx and 18 months to bring a product to the network. In the new world, it's $50,000 of OpEx and about 3 to 6 months to bring it to the new world. And we're going to get it down to 4 to 6 weeks to get that same product to market. That's a pretty sizable improvement. But really, when you stop and look at it from the perspective of the business portfolio manager, in the old world, he has to place, or she has to place, a $1 million bet and wait 18 months to see if they're bringing the right product to the right market at the right time. Or now they can place 20 bets for the price of one and see in a fraction of the time and use real world information to say, this is a good opportunity, these opportunities aren't so good. And they can take that information and feed it forward into development, and development can become more effective and the cycle goes around again. But there's another unique aspect that really only NetApp can deliver with this, and that is that all of these failed bets out of the 20, let's say 17 failed, you lost nothing because you just return all of your assets, network, compute, and now your storage layer, your data layer, back to the pool, and you can reuse them in the future. And this is really what enables companies to drive their cost structures so low. And the neat thing about this with Sprint is now they can do a profitable proof of concept with a small number of subscribers, really reach down market into niche opportunities and connect niche applications with niche environments and make money in the aggregate. And it's transforming, just like we transformed back here with Thomson Reuters, their entire business model. So let's take a look at this now. We've talked about, in this particular example, we've talked about Thomson Reuters and Seven Corners and Sprint and Clayton Companies, but now let's talk about your business. And let's work now to really understand your goals and objectives of your customers, their pain and gain points, and how your business maps back to this. And if we do that, we can start to understand this alignment of how we can help leverage NetApp core technologies and capabilities such as clustered ONTAP and flash cache and on-command and all the other great things that NetApp has this reputation for bringing outstanding technology to the marketplace to help you drive business impact with your business. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to engaging with you further.